The Galapagos Islands, home of the endangered Galapagos penguins, also known as the Spheniscius mendiculus. They are endangered under the IUCN Red List. Some relatives of the Galapagos penguin include the African penguin, Magellanic penguin, and the Humboldt penguin.
Thank you so much. My name is Raj Subramanian Balakrishna Jyotibasu, your host for Endangered Species, Episode 1. Today, we will be interviewing key specialists about different parts of the Galapagos penguins. I have some interview questions here. I'll be using my own interview questions for today's new episode. Let's jump into it. Peekaboo! First, we'll be interviewing Dr. Matthew Lee, Professor of Biology at the Hustlers University. He'll be telling us three key things about the Galapagos penguins. First, the thermoregulation, then the primary niche of this animal, and lastly, the trophic level.
Bro, this egg is so annoying.
Good morning, Dr. Matthew Lee.
Hi.
So, can you tell us something about the thermoregulation of the Galapagos penguins?
Galapagos penguins are homeothermic and endothermic, which means they regulate their internal temperature regardless of their outside environment.
So, what about the primary niche?
They're carnivores, which means they eat other animals. So their feeding strategy is they go after schooling fish like sardines. So some penguins go on the bottom, and then they force the school up because the fish don't want to be eaten. And then some other penguins come from the top and then eat the fish that went up.
Wow, very intelligent. And what about the trophic level?
They're secondary consumers.
And what does that mean to the viewers at home?
So secondary consumers eat primary consumers, and the primary consumers eat primary producers like plants and stuff.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Aren't you Mr. Wan?
Yes, I am.
Didn't you wash up on shore of the Galapagos Islands just 2 years ago?
Yes, if I remember correctly.
Wow, that's so cool. So you definitely know about the islands.
Yes, of course.
So can you first tell us about where these islands are?
The islands are in the Pacific Ocean, which are 600 miles west of Ecuador.
Wow. And can you tell me what type of climate that these islands experience?
Penguins live in a subtropic climate. They experience two seasons, the dry season and the wet season. The dry season happens from June to December, where the climate is very cool and there's little precipitation. The wet season happens from January to May. The climate is much warmer and there's much more precipitation.
That's cool, man. And now, can you tell us some biotic and abiotic factors?
Yes, of course. Some biotic factors include other bird species and iguanas. Some abiotic factors include the Humboldt current and volcanoes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wan, for your experience.
I won't do it again, sir. I promise.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you go this time.
Thank you, sir. Next, we'll be interviewing Papa Parampali, and he'll tell us about the ecosystem, how the penguins affect it, and the overall health of it. Whoa, that's Papa Parampali right there. So, can you tell us how do the penguins affect the overall ecosystem, and how does it affect the health and well-being of it?
So when the Galapagos penguins consume prey, they release nutrients back into the ecosystem through their waste. These nutrients fertilize the water around them and helps promote the growth of phytoplanktons. As predators, the Galapagos penguins consume their prey species and controls them. By doing this, they prevent one and another species from being too dominant.
Papa Parampali, we need to ask him one more question. Papa Parampali, man, we need to ask you one more question before you go.
Okay.
So can you tell us about the endangerment of the Galapagos penguins and how are humans affecting this?
So some human factors that have caused the Galapagos penguins to become endangered are fishermen. When fishermen try to capture fish, they may accidentally get hold of the Galapagos penguins and try to capture, kill, and sell them off for their blubber. Furthermore, oil spills that are caused by human factories can be a devastating problem for these species also. These oil spills can get rid of their blubber, and that means that the Galapagos penguins won't have any insulation and might get cold and die from the weather that they live in. So these are like some devastating problems that us humans affect the Galapagos penguin, and it's very sad to see that we cannot stop it, or we're not trying to stop it yet.
It's tragic, man. Mr. Sam Barrett,
Hello, Raj.
so can you tell us 3 adaptations, one behavioral, one physiological, and one structural? And how does it help the penguins?
I sure can. So, Galapagos penguins, they have the structural adaptation to have torpedo-shaped bodies. And these torpedo-shaped bodies This helps them swim through water more agile, which helps them catch prey better, such as squid or fish. Galapagos penguins also have the physiological adaptation to regulate their own body temperature. These Galapagos penguins have specialized blood vessels and heat exchange systems to dissipate excess heat. This allows them to cool down while foraging at sea or resting on land. Galapagos penguins also have a behavioral adaptation to dig burrows into the land of the islands that they live on. This protects them from the intense heat. This also protects their eggs and chicks from the intense heat or intense cold weather. And this overall improves their reproductive success and overall survival. Both the parents take turns guarding the nest. They provide the chicks with food and they provide the chicks with protection until the young ones are ready to fledge. This parental care ensures the survival of Galapagos penguins.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lastly, we'll be interviewing Dr. Tarika. He'll be telling us about some conservation efforts in the future of the species. Can you first tell us about some conservation efforts?
So unfortunately, due to certain circumstances, the Galapagos penguins have been dying out over the last 5 to 10 years. One major conservation effort that has been made by humans is to protect the marine. So the humans have been protecting marines in order for the Galapagos penguins to not die out. Humans have also implemented new fishing strategies in order for Galapagos penguins to survive.
So, can you tell us what will be the future of these penguins?
Unfortunately, I believe that the Galapagos penguins won't be surviving more than the next 5 to 10 years, especially due to the reason that they're being eaten more and more and the surplus.
So what will happen if the penguins go extinct?
The Galapagos penguins maintain balance in the marine ecosystem, and if they die out, then other predators are going to die out too, and there's going to be an imbalance, which will cause other predators to die, and other animals and organisms to die too.
Thank you, Mr. Narikala, for this.